Welcome to the premier sports campus in Lakewood Ranch, Florida, as we've reached the last match of the Nike International Friendlies, and it's a good one as the U20 USA women getting set to face off against France. Mark Serber alongside Mike Pepper, and Mike, this is going to be a good game to end what has already been a quality tournament on.
It really should be. France has had good results here in the Nike International Friendlies. This USA team tonight really want to try and get on board themselves.
We're going to step aside to the listening of the national anthems, and then we'll have the kickoff for you here on U.S. Soccer.
Anthem of France, followed by the national anthem of the United States. The center official for today's match is Alyssa Nichols. The head coach for France is Gilles Ekem. The head coach for the United States is Mark Carr.
Four-game winning streak. A good look at your referees for this evening. In the middle is Alyssa Nichols, assisted by Emily Fletcher and Tiffany Turpin. Samantha Martinez is the fourth official. So there are your referees as we take a look at the starting lineups. Should be coming your way shortly. And Pepper, it's a USA side not too changed. Astrid Wheeler will be replaced by Tala Della Peruzza, which means that Niswonger is going to go into the midfield. But first, for France, and this is a team that are coming off of a 1-0 win over Brazil and a 2-0 win over USA Red.
Yeah, and in the two games that they had, obviously many of these young ladies have gotten starts throughout, but they have switched it up just a little bit. But again, it's their third game in 5 days as opposed to the U.S. It's their second in 3.
6 players on this France side won the U19 European Championships, beating Germany 2-1 in the final to qualify for the U20 World Cup. Now here comes the USA lineup. And pretty much the same, just 2 changes as Menace comes into the center of defense in place of Stouty. And then as we talked about, Della Peruta is going to come in. She'll come in as one of the attacking center mids, and that means Niswonger, who had a goal and an assist in that 4-2 loss against Brazil, will drop into the number 6 position as the holding midfielder.
Yeah, they'll try and get out here and create a little bit more opportunities throughout, but certainly when you talk about Menace, Della Peruta got a lot of playing time the other night, and should be ready to go here in that attacking role.
So the USA looking to end 2019 on a high note as they make their way out onto the field against a very highly vaunted French team that finished 4th at the last U20 World Cup. A good look at Julia Dole getting her 6th cap tonight at the U20 level.
Should be interesting tonight, Mark, too. A little cold front through the area, but it seems like we've escaped the worst of it so far. Maybe some rain overnight, but there are showers in the area. We'll see whether or not that comes into play.
So it'll be France to get us underway. Just waiting for the referee's whistle. And the final game of these under-20 Nike International Friendlies is underway between France and the U.S. France so far has gotten the better of the U.S., beating them 2-1 last year, and then beating the USA Red team 2-0 this year. This is USA Blue. So it will be a throw-in for Shea Holmes on the far side.
Will be interesting also when we see that France going with the 3 backs, and we saw a lot of trouble created by Jarrett and Rodman last time. See if they can do it again tonight.
Oh, and an early opportunity here, but it was created illegally, says the referee. So it'll be a free kick for France, but the USA going right at that back line through Della Peruta.
Already maybe fell down on the ball, or at least got the wind knocked out of her early on. I think that may be Morera.
Well, the good news is that she looks to be okay.
Well, it's Nato, I think.
So this ball will come back for Petitu. Over to the near side for Bellemou. Rodman all over her. And high pressure forces a turnover in midfield for the U.S. Played forward for Yates. Scored from this distance against Brazil. Couldn't find the half yard of space she needed to get the shot off this time around. But watch out for Summer Yates, Mike. 2 goals in her first 3 caps at the U20 level.
Yeah, creating trouble up front and having those wings down and her own speed to go with her is going to be a little bit of trouble for France, I think, with those 3 defenders.
Well, this one poked away and won back by the French. Oh, that's well stepped in on the far side. Played into the feet of Jarrett. Slid through, not a bad idea. Just 2 minutes in, but the U.S. are looking good early on.
Yeah, that high pressure really has kind of put them under. It looks like maybe even France has dropped a midfielder back a little bit, knowing that the U.S. is going to try and put so much onto those back 3.
Bellemou gets it back. Nadeau's in trouble. This is one. Della Peruta slides it across. Good work from the U.S. Yates so close to finding her 2nd goal in as many games. But once again, the high pressure paying off.
And it was Rodman who just creates the trouble and got a rather easy takeaway there for Trinity Rodman.
Rodman flying in, so dangerous. Puts it across, and that was an important intervention. But it is the first corner kick of the game for the U.S. Will they elect to play this one short? It's Niswonger. Sends it in. Something could still be on here. And who'd it go off of last? The referee says it's a goal kick.
Boy, that ball came in and it just sat just 2 yards off the line on the near post. The runners that came in, but no one could poke it home.
Well, here's a good look. It was a good ball in by Niswonger. And then it was Menace who was battling for it. And yeah, good call by the officials. It was off for last. Now France have the ball through Bellemou. She's able to get it back. It's not a bad effort. And it's pushed over the bar. Good work from Bichot, who's the youngest player on this French side. Just 16 years old, but had 3 goals in the European Under-19 Championships. And tried to catch Dole unawares there, but she was alert to it and tipped it over the crossbar. First corner kick of the game for France. Ball swung in, skips all the way through. Shouts for a handball, but the referee waves it off as the U.S. get it clear. As Ravelli will track this down on the far side and will take the throw in. France on their way to their 8th U20 World Cup. Were runners-up in 2016 and finished 4th as host in 2018. As Nadeau plays this forward. De La Peruta heads it on. And the ball will come back for Petitot. Long ball forward, headed away by Holmes on the far side. Back for Menace, who joined up with the squad after going to the College Cup with Washington State. France running right at the heart of the back line. That's a good ball threaded through. I think it would have been offsides and just swept to safety by the U.S.
Oh, well, that goes back to some miscommunication there. A lot of time there for Rodman. Obviously, she did what you need to do. You don't want to take chances in the back, but someone needs to tell her she's got a little more time.
So Bellamou will take the throw-in. Able to get it inside for Kokar, score of the 2nd goal against the U.S. Red, and she wins the 2nd corner kick of the game against U.S. Blue. So this being an in-swinger from the near side, is played short. And that's excellent defending by Menace to win the free kick for the U.S. to get a get-out-of-jail-free card. I beg your pardon, it was Jarrett doing the defending.
Yeah, a lot of times that near post is defended, your forward comes back, and fortunately for that position, Jarrett able to get out the back and did get the foul from behind.
Spinster turns, scoops it over for Holmes. Gets it inside for Jarrett. Jarrett tried to play it back, but it's picked off. Bellamou, Nadeau. A 3-5-2 for France. And well stepped in by Mason. Threaded into the channel. De La Peruta plays it across. 2nd corner kick of the game for the Stars and Stripes.
De La Peruta getting down the edge. It's good to watch that and that cross. Had some people there, couldn't beat the defender, but it will get the corner.
So it'll be Niswonger to take. The U.S. is in a scrum right around the penalty spot. As soon as Niswonger drops her arms, they'll start to make their runs. That's a good ball in. Still trouble, France able to wrestle it clear. And Holmes is back to mop up for the U.S., and she has a go. And Petitot watches it fall over her crossbar for a goal kick.
It's not a lot of stuff that will interrupt the American Outlaws on the drumming, but that did as they retrieved the ball.
Nadeau will get this across. Maulida gets it back. Clipped inside for Bichot. She's able to spin and get it forward. Driven to the near side for the run of Bellamou. She's confronted by Mason. Has help on the double team, which wins out, but it will be a thrown for France as we're in the 9th minute. Well, one thing, Mark Carr was so happy with this USA Red squad about in their 0-0 draw with Brazil that we just saw here was the way that they defended. And he said that this team as well really needs to be much better defensively, needs to be more compact. Said especially when they're looking to press. Said in the game against Brazil, 1 or 2 players would press, but 2 or 3 players behind them wouldn't. And that's where they got in trouble as the offside flag is up this time around.
Yeah, the competing level was fantastic in the earlier game by the Red squad today.
Dole asks for it back. And she'll roll it over to the far side for Menace. Forward for Jarrett. Rodman's making a run over to this far post, and the ball looking for her. Just a bit too far ahead of her, and Petito will fall on it. It's a good idea, though. The USA loves getting the ball out wide to either Jarrett on that far side or Rodman on the near and have them run at players. So the wind had a lot to do with their inability to get the ball to Jarrett in the second half, a loss to Brazil, but they told Rodman at halftime, they said, look, we believe that when you get the ball at your feet and you have a go at players, there's hardly a defender in the world that can stop you.
Yeah, we saw her speed on display many a time, and not just that, but her ability to go around players when they were there. So that is something that they'd like to utilize even a little bit more here, particularly tonight.
Is this one off of Bellamou?
Give some props out to the grounds crew, Mark. We've basically every day for almost 2 weeks has had 2 games on the field, and in the past they've had to move a game or 2 off to the other field just to let it recover, but holding up pretty good with only 1 more day.
Good hold-up play from Yates. Was looking for Rodman, couldn't get it back to her. Cohosh. Well, about half this French team plays with their senior side in Le Championnat, and the other half plays with the U19s. But Cohosh, one of the players with the senior side, 4 games last year, including 2 starts, has a winner's medal as league champions with Lyon.
It's huge, and that's what you're doing, is developing the young talent.
Well, here's an opportunity for the French, but the shot blazed over. As not only has she played and won the title with Olympique Lyonnais, but she also has featured for them in the Champions League as well. Cohosh, the number 17 for France. Let's take a look at this opportunity. It was a good ball forward, and the space opened up for Boussia. Had a goal and assist in the 2-0 win against USA Red, and came on as a sub in that game and really changed the complexion of it. She is so good when she runs at players. But this is a USA team that so far has hardly given France a sniff of the ball as they look to keep possession under heavy pressure here. And another thing that Mark Carr said about his side in their 4-2 loss to Brazil was, we just needed to move the ball a little bit quicker. We did in the second half, and we did a much better job. But I think you're seeing that here so far, is that the U.S. is moving the ball quicker. This is France, though. That's a dangerous ball pumped in. And the U.S. able to get it clear, but it did hit off a hand of the French attackers, so they'll pull it back for the free kick. But he said, you know, they went down 3-0 to Brazil in that game. And said he felt hard done by it, but he went and he told him, look, the way we're playing, if you don't think we can come back in this game, then you should just go to the bus right now.
Yeah.
And the players came out, they moved the ball quicker, they made the adjustments and pulled 2 goals back right away, and ended up losing 4-2, but it was a fantastic match, and Mark Carr was just so happy with the response from his players.
Yeah.
The 2 things that he sees in his side is they're building the foundation as they prepare to qualify for the U20 World Cup. What he has in this foundation is he has a foundation of skilled players and a group of players that will fight and battle and give everything for the jersey, never give up and never stop believing that they can get back into games and win games. He says that's the foundation that I wanted going into 2020. and
as he should be, and you are developing that. And again, we've talked about this quite a bit as far as the camp having the 2 teams, the 34, 35 players available to them for this, and yet you're still lacking a good 6 to 10 players who competed at their highest level in college here just last week. So they are getting that through, and you know, this is a great experience for these, and these international opponents will help because you can learn from each moment you have.
Well, Rodman is able to stay on side. Nope. Referee now puts up her flag. The assistant referee, I should say, as Rodman had straight off, and then she came back for it. The referee is now, or assistant referees rather, instructed to wait until the player touches the ball, which quite frankly drives me crazy. And I think it drives players crazy too as well, because they'd rather see the flag go up and not make a 20 more yard run to a ball that they may be offside. And
sometimes it's not just the run. You'll see a tackle involved that maybe a couple players didn't have to be involved in too. So I don't know. It's something obviously that's changed over the last couple of years in order to let play open up a little bit. But for players' safety, you may start to see something if it's directly at someone. Maybe allow it to go a little further.
Yates steals in between the center backs, takes a touch past the keeper, but it's cleared away. What a run, though, by Yates, and a beautiful ball threaded through to her. Almost 1-0 to the U.S., but some last-ditch defending by France means that Petitot wasn't called into action.
Petitot came out, made herself big. Yates able to push it beyond her, but in doing so, caused her to push it into the path of the French trailing defender.
Well, excellent work by Yates. And just finished her sophomore season at the University of Washington, where she finished as an all Pac-12 second team selection. But she scored an absolute thunderbolt against Brazil. Let's take a look here. That was a great step in by Mason. And then how about that for a ball from Spinster? And the chance is on. And Petitot pushes it around her post.
Niswonger, what a great shot.
Niswonger looking to be on target for her second time in as many games. She has won the third corner kick of the game for the U.S., and she's going to come short for this. The French are wise to it. And now the referee not happy with the pushing and shoving going in on the boxes. The USA are all on the end line, crowded inside that 6.
Looks like it's Rodman and Kokar that are really getting the shoving at the near post.
As the ball swung in, and the header just wide. And it will be another corner kick for the U.S. Spinster will go over to take it. Spinster winning her 13th cap at the U20 level. Went to the last U20 World Cup as a non-playing member. Was certainly one of the leaders of this U20 side now. So this time she elects to roll it along the ground. We'll get it back just at the top of the box. Oh, beautifully disguised reverse ball, but the flag is up on the near side from the assistant referee, Emily Fletcher. USA looking to qualify for their 10th World Cup and continue their record of appearing in every U20 World Cup. They will have a camp in January, and then the players selected for the CONCACAF Championships will go to a camp in February before they take off for the Dominican Republic, where they will open the CONCACAF Under-20 Championships against Cuba on February 15th. As this is Boosie, so dangerous with the ball at her feet. This time she sprays it to the far side, one-time hit. Great build-up from France, and it would have been a special goal, but Dole watches it fly off target.
Boy, it didn't miss by much. I think, as a matter of fact, it hit netting. It's just the outside of the net. And that was a nice volley from about 16 yards out, and a good breakaway up, or at least a breakout for France as they had a counterattack. Haven't had much possession, but that was a nice one here.
Well, it just goes to show how quickly they can hit you on the break. Rodman. Della Peruta thought that Rodman was going to continue to run. Instead, it's won back by Nadeau. Morera. Maulida. Scruton won the header, but it will be a throw-in for France.
Don't change the point, okay, kid? Good. Good.
Well, the U.S. did well not only to win that ball, but to make sure that it went out for a throw-in rather than a corner kick. So it'll be taken by Bellemou. Gets it back, and once again, the U.S. not allowing a cross. Another opportunity from the throw-in for France. So it's been good defending by Rodman. Bit more movement this time around to get the ball to the end line. Flinged in, headed away by Menace. And now the U.S. will have a chance via the free kick.
Boy.
Taken quickly.
Almost right back into trouble. Tough ball for Scruton.
France growing into the game just a bit. So we're in the 21st minute. The U.S. have looked the more dangerous of the two sides. But this is more like France as the shot fizzed in by Dufour and headed away by Menace. Cohosh. Moelida. Nadeau. Bellemou makes the run into the channel where she's met by Scruton. And it will be a goal kick for the U.S. So 21 minutes gone so far, Mike. How do you assess this battle?
Well, as you pointed out, France starting to get their legs a little bit in this one. The U.S. with some high pressure early on, creating the more dangerous of the opportunities, particularly into the area. But as this high pressure of France, it's starting to create a few more turnovers, or at least opportunities for themselves into that defensive third of the United States. We'll lose it again.
Nadeau. That one hitting off of Cohosh. Jared overtakes for the U.S. Has a runner out wide, but goes at it alone. Now cuts inside. Tried for the reverse ball. It will be a throw-in for the U.S. So it's a nice overlap from Spinster. This is Spinster. Inside for Niswonger. Out wide for Jarrett. Has three players to find in the box. Jarrett hoists it toward the far post, but over the head of Rodman. Not a bad attack, though, from the U.S.
Yeah, knowing the idea that your teammate is probably open on the back, but just a little strong, and they can use this opportunity to pinch in, maybe get the ball back themselves in a good position. And they do.
Mason comes up in support, but the ball goes into the box for Yates. Yates looking to turn, and the U.S. have the opening goal as it went by Yates, but it was smacked in by Spinster. Well, Petito did not see Spinster, who in a flash flew across the face of her and on a dime turned and banged it in off the near post.
Well, and it starts off the long throw here as France kind of got sucked in a little bit, and there's the ball just rolling between it, and Spinster just continued to make that run, and she got there first and found no mistake on that near post there, Mark.
Well, a lovely little layoff. And Spinster hammered it home. And Petitot threw her hands up asking where was the runner. And the USA have a 1-0 lead against the reigning European champions.
It just goes, it's one of those things. Again, down in the corner, you pinch in, you cause a turnover off to throw it, and that's where it started from. High pressure will help you out way more than it hurts you.
To 4. Kokar. Maulida will slide it inside. Well defended by Menace. And the US have a chance to break if they can hurry. Flying forward with 4. Pushed out wide for Jarrett. She'll get it back for Spinster. Off for Holmes. And the US smartly keeping possession as they hit the reset button in the 25th minute. France able to win it back. Rodman trying to step in, but Nadeau able to guide it back to her keeper. Alexa Spinster, such an integral part of this U.S. side. Head coach Mark Carr said she's definitely one of our leaders. And she showed it there with that anticipation. And Mark Carr, a pensive look on his face, but he has to be happy with what he's seen so far. This one swung in, but it's easy pickings for Dole. But what are you seeing from the U.S. that has them in the lead at the moment?
Well, again, I think it's that high pressure, Mark. You lose the ball on that long ball, and if you get down there in the corner, you want a high pressure, and you have attacks like this.
Rodman, this is where she's so dangerous. And Nadeau did enough. Rodman still battling, and it's away by Maulida.
Anytime that the team gets down into that corner, and that's where they did. It was simple enough. The ball was turned over in that corner, and then they capitalized on that ensuing throw.
This time it's Mason who will take it. She sends it in. This time nobody running across the face of Petitot. And that ball asking way too much of Bichot as Menace gets it back to her keeper. Dole. Niswonger gets it back. Scruton bore. Mason. Scruton bore. This time she'll carry it into the midfield. I think that was looking for Jarrett, but she didn't make the run inside. And that one too far for Bellamou. Well, I just saw a French coach hand a subs card to the 4th officials table, so we may see an early change from the French.
It's like Jean-Francois, who's worn the captain armband the last time out. She'll be reintroduced.
Free kick for France. It's Nadeau who's over it. She'll slide this one in and get it back. Maulida. Out wide for Ravelli. It's a good run from Dufour. A great job on the far side to match her step for step. And now we will see that change.
throw up the right number here. We see the...
I was going to say, I don't think DeLong's out there. There we go. It's going to be Kokar coming off. And so on comes Aurélie Jean-Francois, winning her 24th U cap for France, her 5th at the U20 level.
Minute for France.
And this is a player that could very well batten
6,
down the hatches in midfield for France, and also has the eye for a pass.
8, Adeline Cocard.
So we'll see if she changes the complexion of this match.
They'll move to 4 up a little bit into the more the attacking position in that midfield.
Yates. And right away, Jean-Francois wins the corner kick, or a free kick. Good look at Jean-Francois, who plays her club ball for Paris FC. Not to be confused with PSG, who did win last year's U19 championship. Both Vicky Béchot and backup goalkeeper Alice Pingier were on that squad that lifted the U19 title. Bousset plays it inside. Scooped back over for Bousset, trying to play it across. The offside flag is up, so it'll be a free kick for the U.S. as we are past the half-hour mark in Lakewood Ranch, Florida, and the USA have a 1-0 lead through a 24th minute strike from Spinster, who just flew in to the near post out of nowhere, turned and fired it past a helpless Petitot.
And we'll another look at that goal too.
And take a look here, and just out of nowhere, right into your screen and into the net. And now the U.S. on the attack again, threaded through, looking for the run of Jarrett, but Nadeau is there, and we'll get it back to her keeper.
Jarrett switched sides with Rodman once again.
Well, I think one, it's not just to mess with the defense a little bit, but it's for the wingers, or the players at least in this 4-3-3 who attack out wide, to see which defender they think they have a better chance going at one-on-one.
That's the thing. Sometimes, you know, sometimes it's just better matchup against it. And we saw it the other night with Rodman being able to create some chances. See if Jarrett, maybe they both like their opportunities they have now a little better.
Mason will get it back for Dole. Drilled forward, was trying to get it through for Summer Yates. Béchot played it behind the 4. Spinster. Oh, lovely skill from Spinster. And a beautiful ball threaded through. It just angled away from Yates. And France looking to build down the far side. The U.S. do a great job to close them down, though, and not allow them to get out of their own end. It's another determined run by Rodman. Cross comes in, and Petitot gets there before Jarrett. A great distribution, too, to start the attack for France. Bellamou motoring up the near side. Has Béchot out wide. Instead, it goes inside. Boussy sprinting around on the overlap. Mason got a touch to slow her down just a bit. Boussy's so dangerous off the dribble, but this time she's forced back into midfield where she leaves it off for Jean-Francois. She'll get it over for Cohosh. Ravelli. Cohosh continued her run and played it back, and Menace, that was an important block because there were 2 French players free at the top of the 18 to get on the end of that cutback.
That ball seemed to be heading back to that direction as well.
Holmes. Forward for Yates. Jarrett. Gives it off for Niswonger. And that right there is an example of something that Mark Carr told us. He said, Niswonger is so good in that number 6 role because she can get out of pressure from 360 degrees. And it's because of that. It's another important tackle from Menace, but it's because of that ability from Niswonger to get out of that kind of pressure and to connect passes. It allows Della Peruta and Spinster to be able to venture higher on the attack.
And that's always important because then you do have that quicker counter yourself.
Well, Niswonger's having herself quite a good year. Not only did she have a goal and assist against Brazil, but she also was selected to the all-freshman team in the ACC after her first season with Florida State. It's good defending from the front on the far side from Rodman. There will be another throw in for France as we creep toward the final 10 minutes of the first half. And we talked about the fact, Mike, that Mark Carr wanted his team to do a better job of pressing in unison. If the first line goes, the second line has to see those cues and follow. Do you think that they're doing that through the first 35 minutes?
Well, I think that they're certainly getting the opportunities by creating some of that with the higher pressure. So I think France still has had a couple that gets them out a little too easily, but they have certainly been doing more of what he's asked them to do.
Dufour pops it over for Bellemou. Shows too much of it to Jarrett. Jarrett unable to skip past Nadeau. Nadeau steps inside of Niswonger. Out to the far side for Ravelli. Has 3 players queuing up across the top of the box, and it's swept clear by Niswonger. I said across the top of the box because I was expecting them to hold their runs and attack the cross. Instead, they all went in early, and the cross was played behind them, allowing Niswonger to clear, but they're going to have to deal with it again. The quick 1-2. Bellemou fizzes it across. And once again, the attacker went a bit too early.
Finding the gaps that will plague the U.S. the other night, maybe finding France right now here in the first 36 minutes.
Menace. Well defended on the far side by Ravelli. Looking up top for Bichot. Coming across to make that clearance was Scruton. Good work from Scruton. Will walk off the knock she took for her troubles in making sure that she cut out the danger. Mark Carr jotting down some notes. Nadeau. Dufour. Bellemou. Bichot's been full of running. As Mason squares up to her. Able to stand it up toward the back post. And Dole calls off all comers as she will come out to take.
Great call there as Menace was underneath it. She wouldn't have been able to do a lot with that. Would have dry headed it out, maybe into trouble, and Dole with the early call allowed Menace to step away. And that's the key. Sometimes it's not just the call, it's the early call. Because if that's a half second later, she may just head it out anyway.
Nadeau. We'll get it back from Aulida. Bellemou. Bichot. Dufour. Niswonger not giving her any room, and she has to go back to Maulida. Dufour. Good tracking back by Jarrett. Well, the thing about France is they move the ball so fast, they'll wear you down. The other thing is that this is a side that's so tactically sophisticated. that they can play 3 or 4 formations, and they're continuing to work on different formations as well, as Jared is down.
I think it's a hamstring issue right now, and the French player
Bellamou sportingly helping to stretch her out, and you hope that Jared's okay. And she's been really good through these first 39 minutes.
There's a smile on her face, so.
Well, it's a chance for both teams to come over and get some water. If you're Mark Carr and you have this opportunity, what are you telling your ladies for the final 5+ minutes?
Be sure, be certain. And if you're in here, you don't want to go. You've played a pretty good half here. You do have the lead. Don't do anything crazy to give it up here in the next, and then we can go in and make these other adjustments to that point. Just be confident and certain in what you do.
Has there been any particular U.S. player that has stood out to you for the first 39+ minutes, or has it been more of a team effort for the reason that they're in front?
Well, I do think it's the team effort. Obviously, the target, when you were looking up front and you saw that Yates has had a couple of opportunities, kind of a little bit better on the finishing end, but certainly she's been dangerous. And then you see the combination of Niswonger, Spinster, and Della Peruta working well together in the midfield.
A good look at 2-4, and Gilles Akem. He said that his favorite thing about this group is that they are so tactically sophisticated that he gets to try out different systems and can speak tactical theory with them. He also said another thing about his side that won the European Under-19 Championships is, they're obviously very talented, which you know anytime that you lift a trophy, but he said what really separated this group is that they are so close to each other, so unified both on and off the field. And he says you definitely need that if you're going to win any sort of tournament, and he has that in this France squad.
And I think when you are at the youth level, as these young women have been up until this point, getting away overseas sometimes a big part of it.
Dole quickly off her line to quell the danger. Good sportsmanship between her and Bichot. Spinster. Crowded out by 3 French players in the center circle. It's good to see that Jared is okay and she's been waved back on. So obviously, Summer Yates has been told to stay high, but have to be really impressed with the work that both Jarrett and Rodman on the far side have done, helping to defend along the wings, as Jarrett flying to get back in front of the ball again here.
Yeah, you've seen them going down the wings and creating opportunities. Maybe it's not so much with the help going on to it, but once you're going after those outside defenders, once they've got to go a couple things, now they've got to start adjusting to that. And I think that may be something that if the U.S. keeps going, it'll be a big part of.
Played forward and just too heavy of a touch from Bichot. Otherwise, she had ghosted in between the center backs. Dole will be happy to see that ball rolling toward her feet. But that's good movement from Bichot, and I've been impressed with her movement along the U.S.'s back line to try and get open and create opportunities, and she certainly got in between the center backs there.
Yeah, you don't like that when it's a 35-yard ball into it and the players has 3 or 4 yards. It wasn't the easiest ball because it was a little high for her to bring down, and certainly you know that if she does bring it down, that those defenders are going to close fast. But you give someone like that a lot of room, a lot of times they're going to be able to do something to beat you, so you want to tighten that up a little bit.
Yates was clattered into, so Niswonger will take a free kick for the U.S. as we head towards the final 2 minutes of the first half. Away by Nadeau. Mason quickest to the loose ball. Able to elude the challenge. Bichot inside for Niswonger. Can't find Della Peruta as Nadeau brings it forward for France. Little touch off for Bichot. Only has Nadeau and Boussy ahead of her. Bichot trying to take off down the wing, and Mason matches her step for step. Wonderful defending from the 17-year-old Emily Mason. Continues to stick to her task. Maulida has popped up in the corner. Back for Bellamou. And away by Niswonger. Jarrett. And the referee says that Nadeau stood her ground fairly. Maulida back to mop up for France, says Jarrett looks to be okay. Final minute of the opening 45. USA with a 1-0 lead off a 24th minute strike from Alexa Spinster. Mike, every time I've asked you, you've gotten it right. So I'm going to ask you again, how much stoppage time is there going to be when the clock hits 45 minutes?
First half, we've saw just the 1 or 2. We'll say only 2 minutes. I think if it was, we'd be looking at 3 if it's a second half, but I think we'll see 2.
France have been very patient and measured in their build-up. Credit that to the U.S., who have forced them back on numerous occasions. There's Cohosh looking to go over the top, but Menace read it all the way. Niswonger. Yep, you're right again.
I think if that's a second half, that's easily a 3 or 4 minutes with the injury, the goal, and everything else. But first 45, you'll see the official.
The referee has added a minimum of 2 minutes of stoppage time to the end of the first half.
Jarrett. Della Peruta. Ooh, Dufour got a foot in. This could be trouble. And out
Menace
to save any embarrassment is Dole. It's a good job by Menace to have the right body positioning on Boosie.
Almost a little too over-aggressive in playing the body. You knew your goalkeeper's coming out, but she did just enough not to be whistled for a foul, but enough to keep the runner of Boosie from getting in on the goal on your goalkeeper Dole.
Jarrett applying the high pressure. Can France find the equalizer before halftime? Not with passes like that. Yates flying forward. In for Spinster. Spinster! Whoa, what a goal that would have been for the U.S. going into halftime.
That would have been huge. And Spinster, what a fantastic run. Yates, nice ball right on there, too. The only thing not good about it was the finish right there. You got to keep that down, force the goalkeeper to make the save. But what a great run.
Well, the U.S. almost stealing a second. Spinster has been excellent in this first half. How about that for a through ball from Yates as well? Della Peruta gets back to win it for the States. And the U.S. have a free kick in midfield, and we've played the minimum 2 minutes of stoppage time, but perhaps one more chance for the U.S. before referee Alyssa Nichols blows the whistle for halftime.
If they opt to go forward, maybe. If they pass it square, it's probably be over on the first touch.
Well, they do go forward. Della Peruta chasing it into the channel. And it'll be a corner kick. Do the U.S. have time to get it off? They're going to have to hurry.
I was just looking at the watch.
Niswonger is going to take this.
The next touch will probably be the last of the half. Not after, the next touch after the corner.
So any ball that's played out of the box, pretty much.
Either that or goes on net or over whatever we have.
So Niswonger with the 5th corner kick of the half for the U.S. Bounces through, back post. The U.S. have a second before halftime. It's Rodman, and it's no more than she deserves for her play through 3 halves of the Nike International Friendlies.
Wow, you just go in there that was in there. It was a great finish, but you are questioning it a little bit long on that second minute into the third on the corner kick. But good job by the U.S. of recognizing it, going forward, and says, if we go square, this is going to be over. Let's do this. And there's no reason this ball should go through the box. It went by so many players in that little touch right there. But boy, Rodman, where she needed to be for that one.
Rodman has been excellent And she has the USA firmly in the driver's seat at halftime as they have a 2-0 lead over France. Thoughts on the first 45 minutes, Mike Pepper?
Well, I think that last minute, you were kind of alluding to like, hey, can the U.S. not give up something? Well, heck, you get that second one. Boy, it's going to change this game. We're going to see France really have to come out and go after the U.S., much to how the U.S. did the other night. Down trailing by 3. They came out firing. I would expect everything the same way coming up from France in the second 45.
So I got to ask you, is pretty much the same side that came out against Brazil. Why are they going into this half up 2-0 instead of down 3-0?
Well, again, I think we look at the wind. You don't want to make too much of a weather situation, but they weren't very good on a corner kick, and then the wind really kind of came into play. Weather not nearly as much of a factor as it was in the last game.
Well, Spinster and Rodman, the goal scorers, and the U.S. have a 2-0 lead. We'll be back with you for the second half. Getting set for the final 45 minutes of the Nike International Friendlies. As the USA have a 2-0 lead and the ball to start the second half against France. Summer Yates is over it. So there's a change to tell you about at halftime as Mbakim Nero comes on for France. The USA bench looking on. 45 minutes away from a big victory for this side to close out 2019 and to halt France's 3-game winning streak. This would be a big boost for the U.S. going into CONCACAF qualifying.
Interesting, too, is Mbakim Nero came out for one of the defenders. Obviously, they're going to shift one of the midfielders back, but certainly a more offensive posture for France here to start.
As we talked about, France's ability to change positions fluidly, and they're also going to change their goalkeeper. And so on comes Alice Pinguet for the second half. The PSG goalkeeper was a member of the U19 side that won the league title. She comes on for her second cap at the U20 level, and Nero is a very dangerous player, probably one of the best we've seen here at these Nike International Friendlies.
Yeah, very much so the attacker in the first half, or in the previous game.
Had the game-winning goal against Brazil, and Mbakim Nero gets her 4th cap at the U20 level. Summer Yates gets the second half underway. Final 45 minutes of the 2019 U20 Women's Nike International Friendlies. Menace brings it forward. Holmes. Nero with her first touch. Look at the high pressure being applied by Holmes, and now Rodman, the goal scorer, chasing. As Pinguet will get it forward. It's away by Scruton. Well, if you're Gilles Lechem, what did you tell your France side at halftime, Mike?
Well, I think it's with the changes you're seeing like this. We're going to go out there and we're going to get it. Let's go out attack.
Well, that's exactly what they do. That shot flashed just wide of the near post. And it's Nero who's involved early on. It's Bichot whose effort just flew wide of the post.
But it was Mbakim Nero who made the run to get the ball into Bichot. She found us out here with a couple defenders occupying him.
Well, good job by Scruton doing just enough to put Bichot off.
Substitutions at the half for France.
Niswonger. Get back for Scruton.
Number 16, Alice Pinguet. Leaving the game, number 1, Marie Petitto.
Scruton again.
The game, number 19, Esther Mbakim Nero.
Inside for Niswonger.
Leaving the game, number 13, Clara Moreira.
Feeds Spinster. Rodman has a step on Ravelli. Plays it into the near post. Jarrett gets it back for Holmes. And Menace plays it off of Nero for the U.S. throw-in. Niswonger. Della Peruta. Rodman skips past the challenge. Couldn't wrap her foot around the ball.
Well, it's going to stay in if anyone wants to chase it down.
Well, it's exactly the area. Well, it doesn't go out of bounds, like you said.
Yeah.
It's just about to say it's the area from where the U.S. scored their first goal off of a throw-in, but they have a chance to do it here, too. Yates went down. Referee not interested. Menace steps in. Tracking back is Rodman. Oh, and a beautiful ball. Skipped just past the outstretched boot of Yates.
That was a good look in that case by the U.S. and Jess couldn't quite find Yates, who she was able to control that, had a little room to turn. Not a defender within 5 yards of her.
Holmes with the header. And Ravelli shields this out for a France throw-in. Jean-Francois, Nadeau. And U.S. pressure paying off as they win another throw-in in midfield. U.S. will begin the U20 CONCACAF Championships on February 15th at the Dominican Republic against Cuba. Something still might be on here for the U.S. Spot down. Oh, what an effort from Niswonger. Did so well to come up and win that ball, and then that was a really hard skill, hitting that ball right as it bounces off the turf. Just couldn't get it on target. Also in that group for the U.S. will be Honduras and the host Dominican Republic. Just look at this skill. Niswonger so close to her second goal of these Nike International friendlies. Spinster chasing. Jarrett wins it back. Now France looking to go forward through Boussy. She cuts inside. Looking for Dufour. Dufour twisting, turning, has nowhere to go. It's Rodman draped all over her, is able to escape the attention of Rodman. But then Jean-Francois' pass was on the wrong side of her intended target. Now looking for Yates, and that is a lovely skill from Nadeau. Tries to clip it forward for Bichot, but it's cleared away. Prodded ahead by Scruton. Well, just over 5 minutes gone in the second half, Mike, but France have seen so much more of the ball.
Well, they have. You know, the U.S. still a couple chances themselves, but certainly with France looking to see what they can do, and with the substitutions they've made, trying to see if they can find a hole. The U.S. is recovering pretty well to this point.
Two players to find in the box. And it might work out here for Nero. And this one does go out for a throw-in.
It does, and you know, and Bakken Nero had a good chance of that, only about 8 yards, 10 yards out. Just swing across the ball as opposed to going that leg right at target. You can see here, this leg comes over there from the side as opposed to just going on target.
Niswonger wins it in midfield. Lifted over for Rodman. Rodman gets inside of Ravelli. Rodman! Almost right through the keeper, but Pinjay able to get down in time to make the save. Now Spinster looking to run. And Dufour had the positioning. Dufour silky smooth with the ball. She rolls it into Bichot. Helped on for Jean-Francois. Cohosh. Out wide for Boussy. Cannot give her the ball in these types of areas. Boussy gets the cut back, looking to pick out the far corner, but instead it plays it into Dole. Oh, Rodman flying forward, got inside of Ravelli. Keeper coming out and gets that foot down in time.
Let's see the frustration there, and you can go back to the last game when Rodman had the breakaway, went high on the Brazilian goalkeeper, who Nichols was able to tip that one over the bar. The run is fantastic. That was better, put her down low into that sense. You still had to pick out a corner at that point, but that'll come as she gets a little older and a little more in tune with that, especially when you start international goalkeepers, the coming across, and those that she used to face in all her youth.
Still just 17, Trinity Rodman. Also took part in the U20 training camp in November before coming here for these Nike International Friendlies.
Made an impact, obviously, getting starts in these runs we've seen her make, so no doubt she'll be a difference maker here for the U.S. here in the near future.
Is this one sent in? Dufour. Inside, Jean-Francoise steps into it. And she caught all of that, but it was right down the goalkeeper's alley. And now Dole holding on to the ball, I think just to give her side a breather. A nice little layoff, and Jean-Francoise caught it. Oh, well positioned to make the save. Pinget. Nadeau. Rodman flying in on her. Bellemou kept it in on the far side. Niswonger. Lovely ball out wide for Rodman. Unable to cut inside of Ravelli. Gets it forward for Nero. Has the beating of Holmes. She's got Bichot on the outside. Nero leaves it off, makes her way into the middle. Bichot had to track it down. Dufour has plenty of time to measure across. And she wins the corner kick as Niswonger did well to fly in and not allow that cross, but it is at the expense of a corner kick for France.
They need to track back a little bit better as the U.S. will be set to make a substitution here soon. Diana Ordonez would imagine coming up front.
Third corner kick of the game for Les Bleus. The U.S. conceded 2 corner kick goals against Brazil. Able to get it away this time. Sprayed out to the near side for Dufour. Steps inside the first challenge. Rolls it in for Bichot. And cleared away by Menace. Menace was excellent in the College Cup semifinals, despite the fact that her Washington Cougars were unable to advance to the final. And she's been very solid here for the U.S. She'll have another corner kick to deal with.
Before we get emails from the Apple Cup people, it's the Washington State.
Sorry, beg your pardon.
No, that's okay. I've made that mistake before, Mark. I don't wish that upon anyone.
Yeah, it was in fact the Washington State Cougars.
Particularly because Washington Huskies are represented on this national team
Absolutely.
as well. So,
I was really just trying to get that thought out before the corner kick came in. Well, my apologies, and congratulations to Washington State on a tremendous season as well. Maulida. Jean-Francoise. Played inside. Menace dispossessed. Ooh, and that was a dangerous challenge in the box. The USA escaped. The French player still down. And I think Ravelli's just going to play this one out. Gilles Lequem, you can see him at the bottom of your screen. Can't believe there wasn't a foul. He's going to have a word with the 4th official. Is the training staff going to come on and check out and Boosie? Do you think Gilles Lequem has a case?
Anytime you go down in the box, and I think it's there. I don't know if that's Spoofy. It's looking out there, Bellamou. But yeah, you're going to look for it. I didn't see a lot originally, but anytime you do make that tackle, you're putting yourself at risk. Would be interesting to see is, oh, there's my free spray that's fogging up the grounds right now.
It is Bellamou who's down. Winger who plays her club ball for Montpellier. That's good to see that she's okay. Mark Carr with a chance to give some instruction to his players as we're creeping toward the hour mark in Lakewood Ranch. It's good to see that Bellamou is walking off under her own power. There you say, I was stomped on, ref. You can see it right there. Pull the sock down. You'll see the bruise. As here comes Diana Ordonez, 2017-2018 Development Academy Player of the Year during her time with FC Dallas. Had 15 goals and 4 assists her freshman season at UVA. Ordonez.
It's not going to be for Yates.
Now, Rodman waiting to see what the referee wants to do. Should be a throw-in since the ball was played out, so pretty much an illegal throw, but knowing that Spinster was always going to give the ball back to the French keeper, they let it go.
Substitution in the 59th minute for the United States. Entering the game, number 15, Diana Ordonez.
On the hour mark in Lakewood Ranch, Florida, and the U.S. under-20 women's national team has a 2-0 lead over the reigning European champions, France. Shouts for a handball fall on deaf ears as Ravelli gets it back for Nadeau. And they will build out of the other side through Maulida. Zipped along for Cohosh. Perfectly weighted ball to Nero. Can't get it across thanks to some great defending from Holmes. But it is the 5th corner kick of the game for the French. Nero, such a dangerous player. And so far the U.S. have kept her at bay. So it's DeFore to take it. Outswinger comes in. Spinster. DeFore wins the challenge, much to the chagrin of the U.S. bench. Thought it should have been a free kick. This Rodman's ball is picked off by Cohosh. Bichot. DeFore. Back for Ravelli. Nadeau. Maulida. Dole. DeFore. Cohosh. Good sustained period of possession from France. And they'll maintain it here via the throw-in. All played in. And the U.S. have the relief of a goal kick, but France looking good there. U.S., though, doing a good job to keep their shape.
Well, as long as you continue to hold that first goal off, and the longer it takes, the more desperation France will exude. But it is a matter of those opportunities of being for certain, at times very good defensively, shielding it off. And you can see France opting to just sit back a little bit as the U.S. to get out of their third before they put that extreme pressure on.
Menace looking for Adonus.
was going to say, if we don't hear a whistle here, that one. We had one of those piggyback contests for a little while.
It was Maulida who was whistled for the foul. And it's Niswonger who's over the free kick. Looking in the box, Ordonez is chasing. And it will be a goal kick for France. France will meet next in England at the end of March for 2 friendlies against England in what will be a double rematch of last year's U20 World Cup semifinal. Then they will have another camp in April and one in June before the 2020 World Cup. So French side going to their 8th U20 World Cup, having just won their 5th U19 European Championship. It's a little confusing. Some of the confederations, Mike, do a U19 championship to decide who will go to the U20 World Cup. Well, the likes of CONCACAF and South America do a U20 championship.
Yeah, essentially many of the same players. It's just, I guess, dependent upon the timing of your bracket to see and what those develop, because some of those organizations are just utilize different measures of when they actually participate in their games. You can see France opting to sit back just a little bit, which may be a little reversed psychology there.
Ravelli skips inside of Jarrett, who has switched flanks with Rodman. Ado. Nado again. Inside for Cohosh, the Olympique Lyonnais player. Finds the feet of Jean-Francois and gets it back. A little bit of a heavy touch. Spinster wins it. Ravelli did enough to make her square up, but now she can look to play it through to one of the players running off her. She finds her UVA teammate in Jarrett, but Maulida shows her strength in defending.
She opted the wrong way, had a lot of help up top, but slowed it down just a bit. And
good job by Holmes not to give Nero any space there. One back by Jean-Francois. And this will be a throw-in for Shea Holmes in the U.S. Holmes, who made her U20 debut against Brazil, will get it down the line looking for Adonus. But Maulida will regain possession for France as she gets it back to her keeper. I believe that Stouty is getting set to check in.
It's actually Wheeler.
Beg your pardon, Astrid Wheeler set to come on.
Probably be for one of those 3 in the midfield who have worked hard together tonight.
Yeah, I mean, they've had to work so hard because they're in a 3-on-5 disadvantage in the midfield. And that's where you have to credit Jarrett and Rodman for the way that they've helped back to make it a 5v5 game in that particular third. And it is going to be Della Peruta who comes off. And so now the question is, does Wheeler go into the number 6 position that she played against Brazil?
Substitution
and does Niswonger go up?
The United States
or
entering
does
the game,
Wheeler stay up, or do they use
Wheeler,
a double 6
leaving
and
the
allow
game, number
Spinster
11,
to play as the creator?
Talia Della Peruta.
Wheeler running forward on that would kind of indicate that maybe she expects to play more of an attacking role tonight.
Menace will use the safety valve in her keeper. Dole looking for options. Gets it to Scruton. Niswonger, who looks to be staying in that number 6 position. So that means that Wheeler is going to play more of the 8. Oh, and that's a good interception. Ordonez can run, but can't get by the challenge of Nadeau. Maulida. Jean-Francois. Spinster providing the pressure. It's going to go all the way in on Pinget. Good win by Mason. Dufour is waiting for the run of Ravelli. Jared matching her step for step rather, and gets back to win it. Couldn't get back around Ravelli, but excellent tracking back from Jarrett.
It's good to see Jarrett on that case. We saw her in the first half, obviously, with the struggles on the hamstring. So you would like to seem to show no ill effects as she made her way back down the field there.
Eva Fremau's going to come on for her 3rd U20 cap.
Substitution in the 70th minute for
the defender
France.
Who plays her club ball for
Entering the game,
Lille.
Number 5,
replaces
leaving the game,
Asimina Maulida.
Asimina Maulida.
So Fremau will join Nadeau along the back 3. Jean-Francois. Space out wide for Boussy. Will load along for Beaumieu. Perhaps another opportunity here for Beaumieu. Bellemieux. And the U.S. able to scramble it away, but it will be another throw-in for France. Well, it's Bellemieux who's down again.
Look here.
It's a good run from Bellemieux on that overlap.
Pulled the leg down. You can see, obviously, Niswonger went over to her and said, no, come on. Dribble it too far. No need to go down and scream to get it back.
I think Spinster has been excellent in the center of the park today for the U.S., and it's not just the goal.
Well, she's been solid there, right behind the front runners, obviously tracking in where she needed to be, and been a big part of that midfield here for the United States.
Nero. Excellent defending from Holmes. That's forward for Adonus. Smart from her to just hold up the ball and keep it for the U.S. Niswonger escapes the attention of Cohosh. And we'll get it back. And she wins the free kick. Mike, I think the U.S. are doing a great job to find those little pockets to play into. And then, as we talked about, there's Niswonger's ability, if she can't get out of 360-degree pressure, to win the free kick.
You're absolutely right. And I think that, we kind of discussed the first few minutes, and France had a few chances here to start the half. Nothing had the one really dangerous chance. The U.S. kind of has leveled it off. But you can see a little bit of a little frustration here, creeping a little bit more with France. We'll see how that goes, and it might just open something up for the U.S. to add on a third as they maybe start to push forward if they can hold them off.
The one thing you do have to say about France is this is their 3rd match in 5 days.
Sure.
While the U.S. are just playing their 2nd in 3. Not that that takes away anything from this U.S. performance for the first 73 minutes. Nero, flag stays down. Looking to take on Holmes. Ravelli. Cohosh. Rides the first challenge. Skips past the second. A chance to stand this one up. It's a great ball. And tremendous defending from the U.S. Not out of the woods yet. And getting down to make the save is Dole.
Good effort by Dole. Almost creeped underneath there, and Bakum Nero didn't have a lot on it, so just had to toe poke it. Got it hard on there, but you could get another look at this. As you can see, it rolls to her. She has to just toe it, and landing on the ball is Dole, but hey, it doesn't matter. They all count as a save in the book.
Ravelli flicked in. Oh, that would have been a special goal, but it's a big save from Dole. 2 solid stops from Julia Dole to keep this match at 2-0 in favor of the U.S.
Well, you can feel like a little shift here, so the U.S. need to do something here, control it a little bit, kind of work out there a couple of attacking. You don't want to let that momentum build even further.
Jarrett, Spinster, Holmes. And Niswonger just getting it away from Cohosh. Veli will come up to take this throw in. Another player in the world's renowned Olympique Lyonnais team. Into the corner for Béchot. Working on Holmes. And Holmes clears it over the end line, so it'll be a corner kick for France. U.S. defending stoutly, but 1 goal from the French is really going to change the mood of this contest. So it was Nero flying in from deep, but couldn't keep her effort on frame. And the U.S. backline continuing to hold firm despite heavy French pressure. Scruton bore. Played that ball off, now getting back into position in case the U.S. come that way. However, it's in for Spinster. She has her pocket picked. Jean-Francois gets it inside. That's a beautiful turn and finish from Béchot. And the French have a lifeline in the 77th minute.
Well, you saw that one coming here, Mark, but for the last 5 minutes, it has been French pressure that has just gone in, and a couple of great saves by Dole, but that one not able to do a lot from just the 12 yards out. Béchot found the opening on that near post.
Goal scored for France in the 77th minute by number
we're in
11.
for a grandstand finale
Béchot.
now from Lakewood Ranch. Béchot has pulled one back for France. As it was Spinster who was dispossessed. The ball inside. Béchot able to spin Scruton bore and tuck it in at the near post. Gorgeous ball laid in from Jean-Francois.
Another chance here.
And pushed aside by Dole as the French continue to come in wave after wave of attack. And all of a sudden are looking for the equalizer.
That was a fantastic save to forward from distance. Put it on target. Looked like it may have been destined for the side netting had Dole not got a hand on it.
This one played in and taken by Dole at her near post. Now if you're the U.S., you know, obviously you want to be committed to playing out of the back, but at the same time maybe say, you know, let's manage this game and see it out. However, the U.S. sticking firmly to their principles, and you have to admire that. And they do it quite well on this occasion. Well, that's a heavy challenge. And a free kick, as it was Wheeler who was thrown to the ground. Correction, I believe that was Spinster. Yeah, Spinster.
Well, Fremo is up there and held her body and actually kind of pushed Spinster backwards.
Yeah, Mark Carr not at all happy with that challenge. As there's that effort from Dufour. Tipped around the post by Julia Dole. It's been excellent tonight. Niswonger in her normal position over the dead ball. Can the U.S. rescore their 2-goal lead as we head toward the final 10 minutes of the Nike International Friendlies? It's a great ball in, but the header is over.
What a run by Wheeler. What a ball by Niswonger, but Wheeler's got to head that one down. Don't know if it came off ahead or not. Just kind of maybe she lost sight of it for half a second.
Scruton board. Nado. Cohosh. Oh, nipping in to take it away. Oh, and that's gotta be a card. The question is, what color?
I think that could be red. I think it will be a red. Top pocket.
Oh, it's a yellow card.
Well, she gave it to the wrong person.
She just showed it to Cohosh, I believe, or at least Cohosh was in the vicinity. I think the fourth official is getting on her mic too.
Yeah. I mean, Cohosh was running back, and Cohosh was the only reason it probably wasn't a red, because she was going, but she wasn't the last man. She was still chasing position.
You can see Mark Carr having words with fourth official Samantha Martinez.
Yeah.
France so lucky, no matter who the card was given to, that they are not down
Yellow card
to 10 women.
In the 81st minute.
Let's take a look and see. So Cohosh gets beat by Rodman, and when she's off and running, it's dangerous, and that was Fremu.
Yeah.
It certainly wasn't Cohosh.
And you can see, she is, I mean, Cohosh is always in a chasing position there.
As the ball comes in and plucked out of the air by Pinget. I mean, Fremu could have gotten a yellow card a minute earlier for that foul on Spinster as well.
She has two massive takedowns, no card to show for it. And the big part about it is we've seen Jarrett, who's run from midfield two times in the last couple of games and never got caught.
Jean-Francois slides it through for Nero. She looks to pull it back. Oh, and that is excellent defending by Scruton at the far post.
That is incredible defending. Two French jerseys back there. Maybe the first one missed it, but Scruton not only just didn't touch, she got it out of there as well.
Cross pinged in, headed away by Menace. Ordonez. More good hold-up play from Diana Ordonez. And launched forward by Holmes. Punched right back in by Fremu. You know, referees, though, they no longer necessarily call players over. Maybe we just saw Cohosh walking by when the yellow card was showed to Fremu.
I don't know. It looked like she was looking in her direction. So,
well, we didn't hear any announcement over the PA, so. Pinget.
I'll say I thought it was sketchy decision making. So, I'm part of the referee. Of course, it is a friendly. Try to avoid that when possible.
Oh, if Rodman had just gotten past that last challenge, she would have been off and running.
She was past it. That's the key, I thought. I don't think Cohosh was going to catch her at that point, and she was the only opportunity because Fermo had already lunged in.
All over the top, looking for Boosie. Mason doing the defending. That'll be another corner kick for France as Dufour comes across to take it. 6 quarter kicks in this half now for Les Bleus. Some change being made by France. Cohosh is going to come off. Will be replaced by Jamila Amidou.
Substitution in the 84th minute for France.
The 18-year-old who plays
number 15,
for Olympique de Marseille
Jamila
comes on.
Amidou. Leaving the game, number 17, Eva Quash.
So this one bypasses everyone. Nero chasing it down.
Injured U.S. player.
Well, she'll poke it back.
It's Menace, I believe, who's now up, though.
Ooh, and this one a bit awkward for Dole, but she's able to deal with it. And the first touch for Amidou to get it forward for France. Jean-Francois dispossessed. Ravelli. Rodman. And Ravelli won't let her run. And this time, Rodman's whistled for the foul.
Mark, we got an exciting 5 minutes. I don't want to harp on it there in the end, but I think that's a momentum shift, not giving the red at that point. Like I said, I know it's a friendly, but at this point, momentum is on France's side. You have a breakaway opportunity, and then it's still in France's momentum as long as you don't eject the player. So we'll see if that comes back into play here in the last 5.
Oh, and that one almost falling into the corner. Still might be something on. Scruton heads it away. And cleared by Spinster. The U.S. trying to get out so they can't invite France right back in. As Ravelli's ball too long for the goal scorer Bichot. And it will be a goal kick as more seconds tick off the clock. So what do the U.S. need to do as they look to manage these final 4+ minutes and see out this victory?
Well, keep their composure. I mean, they have done very well. We had about a 5-minute run for France that had 2 or 3 great chances that ended in the goal for it. But other than that, they've kept it. So they just continue to go out, play it, don't give up anything, but obviously be much more cognizant defensively and maybe look for that quick counter, because we have seen Rodman get around the last defender many times here in these 2 games they played.
This is going to be another free kick for France. Wheeler smartly stepping in front of the ball, but the referee's going to stop play anyways, as Nadeau was finally helped up. Frémaux. Amidou. Nadeau. Well, the pressure the U.S. has put on the ball has been excellent tonight. France moving it very well here, though. They've been really under the cosh, though, for the last 20 minutes. They've conceded once, but if they can hold on for the final 3 minutes, plus whatever stoppage time Pepper tells the referee, they will come out of the 2019 Nike International Friendlies with a big victory against the reigning European champions.
I don't feel so good about this one. I think it should be 3, but I'm some reason sensing a 4 will be coming up.
Rodman, she's whistled for the foul. Thought that one could have gone either way. Ravelli quickly gets it back to Frémaux. What a tournament Rodman has had, though. Bellemou unable to keep it in on the far side. Ordonez couldn't sneak through. Morera will carry it forward. Beautiful reverse ball into the path of Boussy. Mason was matching her. And the U.S. able to close down and force France back with it. It's a good run from Bellemou. Another cross dropped into a dangerous area, but Dufour late in arriving to the back post. So we're into the final minute of the 90. The USA clinging to this 2-1 lead. Nero. Ravelli. And the block comes in from Holmes.
Get another corner.
Ninth of the game for Dufour in France. Sheila Kem calling everyone forward for this corner kick as we near the 90th minute mark. Oh, and a miscommunication there. Gives the ball back to the U.S. And they'll play it where it needs to go, toward the corner. Piget well off her line. That's a smart ball inside. 3 minutes of stoppage time.
I was off, but that's what I thought it should have been.
That's okay, I've been trying to jinx you this entire time.
The referee has added a minimum of 3 minutes
Foul
of
will be
stoppage time
called,
to the
and
end
the
of the
free
game.
kick will go the way of the U.S.
Substitution for the U.S. now. Let's run the clock.
And
down
now
a
it is
bit.
Natalia Stadi who's going to come on.
For Jarrett.
So it's a defender coming on for a winger, as Stouty played center back in the match against
Substitution in the
Brazil.
90th minute for the United States. Entering the game, number 5, Natalia Stouty. Leaving the game, number 17, Rebecca Jarrett.
So Stouty, another member of the UVA contingent, comes on. Made 22 appearances her freshman season. And she's making her 4th U20 appearance as she looks to close this game out for the U.S., in which over a minute of the minimum 3 of stoppage time has already elapsed. And the U.S., of course, in no hurry to take this throw, and as Spinster heaves it toward the corner. Well, they're going to have to get back now. Jean-Francois with space to run, and it's Rodman getting back again to make the defensive play for the U.S. Toward the corner again. Well, it's brought down by Ordonez. Wheeler was trying to get it out wide, but it's won back by France. Jean-Francois. In the final minute, the minimum 3 is stoppage time. Dufour. Can't get by Rodman. Dufour wins it back. Dufour, the second time of asking. This time leaves it off, but the shot right into the breadbasket of Dole, who will smartly fall on it. It was struck with plenty of place from Jean-Francois, but it was the placement that was lacking. So that's a smart ball from Dufour. Jean-Francois did so well to get it out from under her feet. But the keeper well positioned to make the save, and now Spinster is down.
This ball hit her in the face.
So the U.S. training staff coming out to check on Spinster. Who's your player of the game, if you had to pick out one?
Well, I think what we've seen defensively here is Rodman has been fantastic up and down the field, making some big plays as of late. But I think if you go back, you almost, Spinster got the goal that got you started. I think that, the midfield is where, for a while, for the good part of it, the last few minutes or so, but I'd probably give it in there. I think you could look at Dole, who made some big saves, but you had a kind of that little concerted effort. We'll give it to Spinster. I wouldn't have a problem if Rodman and or Dole had got an honor as well.
Well, Spinster and Rodman do have the goals for the U.S. So take a look here, and that ball coming all the way from Dole over midfield. Bouncing off of Spinster. We're well past the minimum 3 minutes. We did have that stoppage for Spinster, who now is back on. And the U.S. can take this ball into the corner through Adonus. And she's fouled. And it looks like the U.S. are going to see this one out and end 2019 on a real high and a big victory over a highly rated France squad.
Yeah, I think it certainly, here as we play our 5th minute of 3, that it is a big victory if they can hang on here. I don't know if they're going to get enough time to get it back down the field, but we also got 2 extra stoppage minutes in the first half too, but that's going to do it, Mark.
The USA defeat France 2-1 to close out the 2019 Under-20 Women's Nike International Friendlies
2,
with goals
France
from Alexa
1.
Spinster in the 24th minute.
Ladies and gentlemen,
and
that
Trinity Rodman in stoppage time of the first half. And even though Bechot pulled one back at 77 minutes, the defense held firm. Final thoughts on the entire tournament, Mike Pepper.
Well, I think Mark Carr is going to be very happy. The results Wednesday notwithstanding that win against the United States in both the games against Brazil and France. But he is talking about a lot of players involved, the learning process going into it. And what did that show today? A fantastic effort by the Red squad early on that brought us a draw against Brazil, and then ultimately this victory tonight, which you cannot have one thing negative to say about it, as Rodman was able to finish that one home.
Well, the Nike International Friendlies come to an end, and the United States end 2019 on a high as they defeat France 2-1. For Mike Pepper, for our producer Chase Knighting, and everyone at Turbo Sports, I'm Mark Serber saying good night from Lakewood Ranch, where it finishes France 1, USA 2.